In the studio, starting off with a very, very sad story. Now, guys, I know you must have seen this online. This week, a BBC Africa documentary shows how local supervisors and bosses on tea plantations owned by multinational companies ask for casual sex so as to stand a chance to be employed. Using hidden cameras, as undercover journalist struggles to have a job, and when she gets one, she has to smash this supervisor so as to have the lighter tasks. A worker who's interviewed by BBC shares that the tea plantation supervisor infected her with HIV/AIDS, which later broke her marriage. James Finlay's Kenya, a tea production firm mentioned in the documentary, said that they have suspended the two individuals featured in the investigation. But is that enough?
She goes for a job interview with a notorious manager, John Chebochok. He is in charge of hundreds of workers on plantations owned by Scottish firm James Finlay and Company. He tells her to follow him into a hotel room, where he puts pressure on her to have sex with him. Members of the production team were stationed nearby and made a phone call to help her get out.
I was so scared and so shocked. It must be really difficult for the women.
You know, watching that completely broke my heart. I can't believe that, you know, these are still things that are happening in 2023. My heart goes out to all of the women across the country who've had to go through something like that. It's such a heartbreaking situation. Let me start off with Kwach. Kwach, I mean, you see videos like these. I mean, this is a different industry, right? So they're talking about tea, but then you hear people complaining about the same when it comes to banking, and some say the same when it comes to the entertainment industry. And it's just tragic what women have to go through. What are your thoughts?
You know, it's always very sad because sometimes you hear people saying that women go through these kind of things, oh, sijui because sijui alikuwa amevaa nini, sijui alikuwa amefanya nini. These are women working in the farm. Farm. Like wamekuja wamevaa gumboots, gloves na sijui nini. And this guy is still out. I'm not saying that when someone is dressed lesser,
no, I hear what you're saying. You're like,
it should happen. But for those who use that as a justification, what is going on? And then, you know, the worst part about this is this company has a policy against, you know, sexual harassment that was read by the same guy that is being accused of, you know, sexually abusing his employees. And when I watched the documentary, it was how brazen he was doing it. Like, he's not even hiding it. He's not even trying to do it ati chini ya maji, ati sijui nini, trying to persuade you. He's putting it out there. Wewe tuende ama kuende venye kunaenda. And I was like, what is this? And why does it have to take, you know, this kind of investigative journalist? Because I'm sure by the time this thing is getting to this level, someone has raised a question about it. I am almost very, very sure. And companies are notorious with this one. I'm not saying it is this one has done the same, but I know that before something gets to this level where there is a clear pattern that more than 5, 6, 7 women are talking about it, there has to have been at least one, who raised an issue with the company, and someone within the company ignored it. Yeah. And that's what's the problem.
And swept it under the rug. And swept it under the rug. And it's because a lot of the times, you know what, Kwach, people don't believe women. Yeah. That's why people don't come out to report cases of sexual assault, because the first thing that will happen is that they will be blamed.
Like
they're just all these things, you know, just victim shaming. And it's just terrible. What about you, Mato?
Hey, this might feel like a very good opportunity to say stupid things like even men go through this, but I am not going to take that path or that direction. Unfortunately, it is a very, very sad state of affairs for, for this to be exposed in this way, especially for a multinational company like, James Finlay's. And it is very sad that women get to go through this. Yes, men go through this in a different kind of way, but not in the way that women go through it. That is what I'm going to take. That's the direction I'm taking in this, because it's power play. And what currency is being used in this power? So the currency is money for sex. For men, it's sometimes money for money. you know. But in this case, it's money for sex, and the effect of the currency of sex being used against women has much broader implications than money for money. Yes, men will come up and say hata sisi wanaume tunapitiaga shida kama hii, unaambiwa lazima utoe kitu ndio upate kazi. Si hata hiyo ni kusafa. Hapana. When the women engage in sex with these individuals, like this woman who's been infected with HIV, that has affected her family. That will in turn affect her children. And you know, the effect is much larger than when men go through this. So, tuacha kuchekio direction ya hata wanaume tunapitiaga hii shida. Watu saa zingine wanakuaga na well, acha tu.
Yeah, that's true. Mato, you're a smart man. Thank you for taking that route. Thank you very much. Now, wow. So as we move on, this is more entertainment than it is, you know,